Well, this is by far one of the smallest critters that I have ever seen killed on the road. And possibly this little robin, it looks like a baby. And probably hit a windshield. You know, it's very, very young. And you know, when I was driving along the road, there were so many squirrels and chipmunks that are killed around here. I thought it was like a small mole or a little mouse, and it turned out to be a bird. But yeah, it's, you know, I have empathy for these little critters, and you know, even though life is short for them, and even though they didn't feel a thing when they were hit, I mean, let's hope they weren't. But you know, it's really bothersome to empaths when, you know, there's sadness or death, and I don't even know if death is sadness, because death is peace. But you know, the little bird did not ask to be born, and did not ask to die. And the fact that her life was cut short, let's assume that she is going to miss out on, you know, some flying, some eating, some enjoyment with her family or whatever. But things like this make me sad. And you know, it just splashed across the road, and you know, so it's just there for everybody to see and gawk at, and for somebody like me to make you know, an antinatalist video about. But I think there's a very strong shortage of empathy in the world. I think a lot of people would drive past this little critter or an animal, and I actually think some people swerve to purposely hit animals. I've seen that happen. I've seen a couple of guys do that to some chickens and chicks crossing the road in St. Croix. But anyway, I have heard of males who deliberately aim for dogs and aim for deer. But anyway, that is somebody who's lacking empathy. And on the other side of the coin, there's people like me who have so much empathy that the witnessing of incidents and the killing of animals and other species is going to bother them, and probably bother them to a point that is needless and useless. But it can't be prevented. And you know, the only way for empaths not to feel anything is for them to have not been placed into existence. But that's true for everybody, right? And I mean, everybody's going to suffer, whether they're empaths or sociopaths or any type of narcissist in between. But anyway, yeah, you know, I mean, it doesn't ruin my day to see animals killed on the road. If I were to be the one that ran over the animal, yes, I would be bothered for the rest of the day. But this doesn't impact my day. But it impacts my life, because this is just a conglomeration of everything that makes me regret being placed into existence, and the feeling that my parents, my biological parents, did me a great deal of harm for putting me here. And they do not take care of me. They do not shoulder me. They do not care. Well, one of them is dead, and I don't know about the other one, but you know, they didn't provide me with a trust fund or anything really. So, you know, I'm just here, and basically, you know, to fend for myself. I had no instruction manual for life, and I was quite unprepared for life, actually. And so was my biological brother. So Anyway, back to a little bird. There's also a little chipmunk down the road that was totally flattened. I mean, there's so many animals out here. This is a state park. But anyway, you know, it's just kind of gruesome. It's gruesome for me to see wildlife, and these animals were killed because of human beings and because humans drive cars. And, you know, animals don't really have much peace as long as there's humans in existence. And humans don't create peace for other humans either, do they? And I see no purpose for optimism, because optimism is going to sabotage you. It's going to inhibit progress. And, you know, just the fact of being hopeful is going to let you down, because, you know, hope is delayed disappointment. I might have said that on a previous video. You know, it's a shame that people use the word hope because, I mean, I don't see much hope. And, you know, I've had hope for many years, many years. And anybody who has lived for many decades has seen things go awry and seen many disappointments. And hope originated those disappointments. I sincerely believe that hope and optimism destroys our capacity to enjoy life and to expect progress and happiness. I think having no expectation whatsoever is the only goal. And every single time I have hoped and had total optimism for something, it had greatly let me down. And even when I have been on certain vacations, I had this vision of, you know, plans going correctly and smoothly, and absolutely so many things came across its path, and it was like, it was unbelievable. But when I went into a vacation with absolutely no expectation, a lot of surprises came along. I mean, it's almost impossible not to have an expectation, isn't it? I mean, you plan something, maybe you planned for a year to go on a trip, you pack your bags, and you hire a driver, and, you know, you pay the driver up front because it's necessary. And then perhaps the driver gets sick, or the driver dies, or the driver's company goes under, and then you're forced to scramble to seek your payment, get a refund for what you paid him. There's just so many obstacles in life, and I just find that having no expectations is the only way to go, because optimism has really let me down. And I have found myself at odds with people who do promote optimism. I feel like they're the most delusional and hypocritical people. And I just think that they're trying to win friends and influence people, so to speak. They're just promoting optimism just to promote optimism, because their lives are not optimistic. So I'm going to end this video there. And I keep looking at this little ball thing. I don't know if it was a black walnut just sitting up there, or if it's part of the tree. But sometimes trees have some really cool patterns and trademarks, footprints, if you will. Like this one has a lot of the fungus growing, and we're coming close to mushroom hunting season, and the mushrooms are on fallen oak trees in the woods. And so it's about that time, and I really hope to get some chicken of the woods mushrooms this season, and hopefully I can go out into the woods with my fellow, and we can find some gorgeous thick orange chicken of the woods mushrooms. So thank you for watching my video.